First break in the Republican debates here. Ben Carson's used up half of his time and shockingly has not fallen asleep once yet.
Yeah.
So this is the longest he's ever been awake. You have to give credit where credit is due. And he seems surprisingly cogent as well. So now in the town halls, you could do a lot more talking points, but he does roughly seem to be answering the questions that are asked. And not
to some extent, not the last one, but in general, I think he is.
Not as robotic as I would expect Rubio to be or even Cruz to be. And I thought for sure when Anderson Cooper asked about the news from today about Apple, that he'd
have nothing.
That he'd be like, "Oh my God, it's not in my notes," and he would panic and cold sweat. No.
Yeah, no.
He had an answer. Yeah. He had an answer. Now the answers are, of course, in our opinion, outrageous because we don't agree with them.
It's biblical nonsense.
Yeah. So if you had over 2.5 Bible quotes, you're in good shape. He's done 2 so far, and he's got a whole nother section to go.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a Stalin quote. That isn't actually a Stalin quote.
By the way, another one I got right. He did the Stalin quote in the last debate. I said, that's not, I've never heard it.
That's true, you did.
I said, I guarantee you that's not a Stalin quote. The next day, that's not a Stalin quote.
Yeah, which is good, because he shouldn't be fucking quoting Stalin.
Yeah, that's
so weird.
Now, but John made a good point that I built off of as we're doing this live. He said, it's interesting that when it comes to many issues like abortion, Ben Carson thinks that his religious views should be imposed upon everyone else through the government. But when it comes to helping the poor, oh, wait, no. We shouldn't impose my religious beliefs on everybody else through the government.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
No, yeah, we should just, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, and me, I mean, am I really doing it? No, like Ted Cruz, apparently tithing less than 1%, even though as a good Christian, he's supposed to tithe 10%. So are you guys actually going to do that? No, we're not going to actually do charity. But we'd also like to strip that away from the government. So look, at a minimum, we need to have at least some sort of agreement from them that if your religious beliefs shouldn't affect the government at all, great. Let's shake on it, right? Now, pro-choice for everybody. Let's move forward.
Yeah, I mean, they try to make the case that the Bible is against abortion. I think that the Bible seems to be explicitly pro-abortion. It tells people when they should have abortions by mixing moon leaf tea and stuff like that. I'm probably mixing up the Bible and Game of Thrones, but it's in both. But even if that was true, it would only be, well, then you in your private life shouldn't have an abortion. But they believe that one of the driving reasons to become president, to nominate Supreme Court justices, is to make sure that nobody under any circumstances can have it. So look, if you're going to apply it to charity, then apply it to that as well. And I know that they'll probably say, well, you're being disingenuous. It's not about abortion specifically, it's about not killing people. But in so many other areas, you are 100% fine with killing. We don't even have to talk about the capital punishment. We can go to torture, we can go to carpet bombing, we need to be way harder on their populations, and talking about how it's fine to have more civilian casualties. We need to loosen the rules of engagement. So don't give me that BS about not wanting to kill people.
Now, he has had a couple of minor gaps, which, of course, he doesn't even recognize. He said that Congress is just now the peanut gallery and doesn't do anything. Remember, it's a heavily Republican-controlled Congress. So it's basically him calling his fellow Republicans the peanut gallery. Now, that gaffe is a little indicative of what's going on because the Republicans are at fault. They are obstructing everything. Even when they're in charge, they don't want to do anything, right? Because it might regulate something accidentally, right? So he's accidentally called out his own side without quite recognizing it.
He also pointed out that there's a correlation between gun ownership and our freedom.
That was funny. He said we've had guns for a long time. We had freedom for a long time. We've also had shoes for a long time.
That's true.
And freedom for a long time. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.